We'll call the regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we'll have the reading of the minutes of the October 4, 2012 Upshur County Commission meeting.
The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, October 4th, 2012 at 9 a.m. Donnie Taney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Taney, Commissioner, Creed Pletcher, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, William Parker, County Administrator, Megan J. Pomeroy, Assistant County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. After reading of the minutes on motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Creed Pletcher, the Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of September 27, 2012 with amendment as follows. Paragraph 10, Donnie Taney provided a review of the County Commissioners Association of West Virginia meeting. The Commission discussed a request from Patty Adams, Republican Party representative, on behalf of Caden Cowger, Buchanan Upshur Middle School student, to use the Courthouse Plaza area for a Restoring America rally on Sunday, October 28, 2012, from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. William Parker advised of correction to date and time as listed on the meeting agenda. Terry Jo Bennett, Addressing and Mapping Coordinator, appeared before the Commission and provided an update/status report on a request from Palace Valley area residents for a road name change. Ms. Bennett advised that the residents have complied with all guidelines established by the Upshur County 911 Addressing and Mapping Ordinance and have taken the necessary steps to reach the 80% threshold of approval to meet ordinance requirements. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Creed Pletcher, the Commission approved Grismill Drive for the private driveway off of Palace Valley Road. The Commission discussed the upcoming County Commissioners Association of West Virginia meeting, October 14th and 15th, concerning regional jail funding. The Commission reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, invitation to attend the 9th Annual Harvest Time in the Hills on Saturday, October 13, 2012 at the BUMS from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Number 2, Literacy Volunteers of Upshur County book sale on Friday, October 26, 2012 and Saturday, October 27, 2012 at the Holy Rosary Catholic Church. Number 3, agendas and/or notices of meetings as listed. Number 4, meeting minutes and/or financial reports as listed. Number 5, meetings as listed. Number 6, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. After discussion on motion by Creed Pletcher, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the request from Patty Adams on behalf of Caden Cowger to use the Courthouse Plaza on Sunday, October 2012 for Restoring America rally as discussed previously in this meeting. The Commission recessed at 9:25 a.m. The Commission reconvened at 10:10 a.m. Helen Phillips, Upshur County Assessor, appeared before the Commission and provided an update concerning the farm census of 2012. Helen Phillips, Donald Rice, and Dale Burgess, representatives of the Upshur County Assessor's Office, reviewed assessments for the Warren and Corporation property tax books, which the Commission has reviewed in consideration of establishing the Upshur County Appraisal Assessment Advisory Board. No action was taken. The Commission will follow up at a future meeting. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission approved the following exonerations and/or refunds as listed. The Commission recessed at 10:30 a.m. to conduct a site visit at the E911 Communications Center and met with James Bryson Van Nostrand Architects representative at the E911 Communications Center concerning review of the E911 project and cost allocation. The Commission concluded their site visit at 11:30 a.m. The Commission reconvened at 1 p.m. West Virginia Courthouse Facilities Improvement Authority project representatives Thomas Potts, Michael Moore, Michael Gulis, Gabriel Hopin, Kevin Donati, Jim Kulik, and John Byer appeared before the Commission and provided a review of their upcoming courthouse needs assessment review. The group will be gathering information for historical preservation and courthouse maintenance projects, which will be pertinent to receiving grants. William Parker provided information on projects which have been completed to date. Debbie Thacker Wilfong, Upshur County Clerk, appeared before the Commission and provided a review of recording procedures for addressing and mapping road name change documentation. Ms. Wilfong indicated that no recording fee is required. The $50 non-refundable fee, E911 Addressing and Mapping Ordinance Section 6.7, will be deposited into the general fund. With no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, second by Donnie Tenney, the Commission meeting adjourned at 2:30 p.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read? If not, I'll ask for a motion to be approved as such.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Jackie. Our first scheduled appointment is at 1 o'clock, our Upshur County Policy Board, and 2 o'clock, Upshur County Supervisor and Department Head meeting. First item for discussion and possible action is request for employment status change from temporary part-time assistant case manager for the Lewis Upshur Braxton Community Corrections Program to a part-time assistant case manager for the Lewis Upshur Braxton Community Corrections Program at the current rate of pay for Melanie Edmond. So we're going from a temporary part-time assistant to a part-time assistant.
Yes, the commission approved filling in, and then with the recent change with one employee leaving and another one moving up, then Ms. Edmond will be a temporary or a part-time employee now instead of a temporary
part-time. Okay. That makes perfect sense to me.
Oh, yeah. It's an issue where we had hired just as a temporary basis, and
right.
Now she'll be ongoing part-time.
Right. Permanent part-time. Going from a temporary to permanent part-time. We have a motion to approve this request?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now, establish trick-or-treat time for Upshur County as Wednesday, October 31st, 2012, from 5:30 p.m. till 7 p.m. This is the time we've had for a number of years, so would I would ask for a motion that we approve that for this year.
Is that the same as the city?
The city normally is an hour duration. We're an extra half hour in the county.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Gives me a chance to take my bag and go out and get
Right.
candy.
Yeah. Approve and authorize the President to sign the fire alarm testing and inspection agreement with New Tech Systems, Inc. for the Courthouse Annex Former Jail Facility, Upshur County Public Library, and the 911 Communications Center, effective October the 1st, 2012 to September 30th, 2012. So do we have a motion to approve authorization and authorize the President to sign this document?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approve and authorize the President to sign the grant agreement with the West Virginia Development Office's Governor's Community Participation Grant for $1,000 for literacy volunteers of Upshur County. So once we sign this, then this goes back to Charleston? Is that correct?
That's correct. It'll, we'll attach a resolution that the county clerk needs to attest to your signature. And we'll send that back to Charleston for the West Virginia Development Office to sign. The executive director, Mr. Burdette. They'll return that signed contract to us. At that point, the funding is committed and finally official. And then we can start the reimbursement process after that.
Do we have bills in place from them to reimburse?
Not yet, but that probably will not be too difficult to obtain.
So what's the average amount of time from this point to where we get the word back from Charleston?
Well, it can vary, but it's not uncommon for it to take another month or two. Just depends on how
much do they have in Charleston?
How much they have in Charleston and how soon, what the timing is of when they hit. But
Right.
Linda Fiola with the Director of Literacy Volunteer Program has indicated to me in conversation that they have made contact with the Usher County Board of Education, and future grant requests will be funded through, or will process through the Board of Education.
And that would be fine with us.
Well, we've taken a lot of heat for the amount of time it takes for these things to be processed, and people understand that it's a lengthy process from the time a delegate or a senator tells them they're going to get money till they actually get the money. So
You'd think that process could be improved upon, but that's the way government works, I guess.
well, as it relates to this particular grant, I know I copied an email to you gentlemen that I'd sent out, but we received the initial correspondence, the initial project application late February, early March this year, and not only this one but others. They were forwarded to the various agencies and asked to be returned, usually end of April, 1st of May time period, so it gives us the office here time to prepare them for the commissioner's signature, because they have to be back to the development office by June of the fiscal year. So these had to be back by June of 2012, June 30th. And we received this particular grant back, and it came back, one of the first ones, in April. And but normally I compile all those and bring those as a packet for the commission to review, and the commission president's signature, which was accomplished finally on June the 21st, because not all agencies bring back the information. In fact, as we speak, we're still waiting for information from one group on an application that was sent in on June the 21st. The development office is requesting their 501c3, and I do not know if they have a 501c3. And you must be a 501c3 to receive this funding. So those were signed June the 21st, and as you see, the letter was dated September 24th, once it was processed in the development office. And the development office, as many as we have, multiplied by 55 counties and however many cities and boards of education, they get covered up with these 1,000 to 10,000 or whatever the case may be of grants, and I only have a staff of 3 or 4 to process all of these requests. Between certain individuals holding the certificates, or the governor's office waiting before they sign their certificates, whatever the case may be, it's a lengthy process. It's not unusual for 18 months from start to finish. And if the Board of Education can do it faster, more power to them.
What amazes me is the groups that give the money get the praise and we get the heat.
For the benefit of viewers or public, a 501(c)(3) is a nonprofit organization, is that correct?
Yes, has a declaration by the IRS that they are tax exempt and exempt from taxation. 501c3, 4, whatever the case may be.
Sometimes we're comfortable with this terminology among
Yeah.
ourselves and those familiar with the government, but it's often goes above the people's heads that aren't necessarily always involved in administrative or governmental aspects. Thank you.
And you may be an organization registered with the Secretary of State's office and be a nonprofit, but you may not, not all have received a determination letter from the IRS that they're a tax exempt nonprofit.
Well, and then there's been a recent issue with 501c3s. The IRS has canceled a lot of, I forget statewide, I saw that number, it's hundreds of 501c3s that the IRS has just canceled, and they've got to reapply, which is a very lengthy process. And I'm not sure whether there was a misunderstanding of how often they had to apply or whatever, but I do know there were a lot of them statewide. In Upshur County, there's a list of them on the internet that tells, it's amazing, the ones the IRS has canceled their 501c3 status. Now they've got to go back and reapply for it. So that
you have to file an IRS return, a 990 form, and if you do not file that, it's either 2 or 3 years. If you do not file those, then they
Expire.
remove your
right.
tax exempt status, or put it in abeyance, whatever term they want to use until you
Well,
file.
apparently statewide there's hundreds of thousands that didn't meet that criteria.
Sounds like the government needs money.
Well, you wonder with the IRS, a lot of things they're doing.
Everything points to the fact that Internal Revenue Service is focusing more on means to obtain income.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve and authorize the president to sign this grant agreement?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Approve and authorize the president to sign the notice of requirement to file and pay electronically agreement for remittance of sales and withholding tax. You might reiterate on that, Mr. Furley.
The state requires, if you pay more than $50,000 during a fiscal year, they're requiring that you do it electronically in the future, and which is one thing that we're required to do now. So it's just a form that requires your signature authorizing the state to make that electronic withdrawal based on the information that we send them.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve and authorize the president to sign the document?
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Sounds like people need to get money faster.
I have correspondence from John Purdue, State Treasurer, regarding the distribution of coal bed methane severance tax, and you might explain how that works and what the implication of this is.
Well, you'll see the distribution, of course, $8,276.31, pretty much down the line for the counties that are listed there, and there is certain requirements of what this funding can be spent for. Economic development projects, et cetera, infrastructure projects, and I'm not sure how quick this will come through, but it should be fairly soon, or maybe it's already happened. It says the 4th, so I haven't followed up since we got the letter. It may be already in the bank.
Okay, any questions on that? We have our building permit for September. $1,175,495 in estimated project cost. And we have our agendas and notices of meetings, minutes, and financial reports. Looks like we have some appointments. Have we made any contact with ones that we appoint on the Parks Board as to whether they are interested in continuing to serve, or have anyone else interested in serving?
We've made contacts, but I'll have to follow up. I'm not sure what the responses were at this point.
I spoke with Mark Riggs yesterday, and he indicated that he is not desirous of continuing on the James Curry
Yeah,
Advisory Board.
That I was aware of, yeah. He's not interested in being reappointed for various reasons.
Is that January 1 when that term is?
Yeah, at the end of December, end of the calendar year.
Okay. Well, you gentlemen have anything else?
I think it would be worth noting that this weekend, Sunday and next Monday, commission members are going to be meeting in Bridgeport for purpose of discussing with other commissioners statewide, addressing the concerns that we all have relative to the escalating costs of confinement at the regional jails. It's becoming an increased cost to the taxpayers in the county. I think our monies for those funds, monies for those expenditures have increased substantially. I think about $10,000 above normal expenditures in the last several months. And so we all are interested in trying to identify those means by which we can reduce confinement costs in the regional jails. In fact, we've asked our assistant administrator, Megan Pomeroy, to put together some figures for us, and she's been doing that explain where some of those costs are coming from. And I know that Commissioner Tenney has proposed at our board meeting to initiate a proposal to have other governmental bodies that are responsible for incarcerating individuals to possibly bear a share of the cost. That's still going through the legislative process within the different state organizations, but
That's been approved
by the board.
through the whole process.
Yeah,
So that will be a legislative agenda item for next spring, will be that you put them in jail, you pay for the stay.
I'm sure there'll be some pushback.
There'll be some opposition to that. Yeah, I'm sure there will be, but maybe something good will come out of it. I mean, and as Commissioner Rafferty said, this summit won't be having in Bridgeport. It's statewide. There'll be, and actually Judge Long, the director of the Regional Jail Authority, will be there. We'll be looking at all different aspects of additional funding mechanisms, ways to reduce the jail costs, ways to monitor. What was it, just a month or so ago, the prosecuting attorney's office found that, what was it, I forget the exact situation and the exact cost, but someone had been sitting in jail that should have been released, and that was what, a few $1,000s?
Yeah.
Should have been transferred to the Department of Corrections in May.
Right, in May. So that cost the county a few $1,000s because of that.
We'll get readjusted on that.
Huh?
We'll be readjusted on that.
Yeah, the regional jail, so I have not seen the credit come through yet. But
Right. So there's a lot of different issues there that to look at. It's a multifaceted issue, but it's and then there's the area that, you know, the governor's had task force on rehabilitation and that whole aspect of, instead of just putting people in jail and then they come out and go right back into recidivism is very high in West Virginia on a lot of issues, and try to rehabilitate them so that when they do come out, you know, they have social skills, they have marketable skills, job skills, and all those, so they can mesh back into society and be productive elements of society. So there's a lot of aspects to that, and you know, as we saw the presentation from the group a couple different times, in West Virginia, I believe one of the few states that we do have had an increase year after year in our regional jail inmate population. So there's some interesting things in that study that that they'll be looking at on the state level, and the counties can look at too. So it's a big issue, and there's a lot of people looking at it. So hopefully it won't be one of those situations where it's analysis to paralysis. That'll actually be some statistics that will help motivate action, that will help not only save the taxpayers money, but also help those folks that, you know, have drug issues and problems in their life, to help them to be able to turn their lives around and be productive elements of society. So that's our goal, and we're certainly working toward that.
Sometimes it is an enigma.
That's true. Well, do you have anything before we start on paperwork?
A couple things, just to make you aware, there's a open house ribbon cutting at Dynamic Physical Therapy, 12 Hartman Plaza, Monday, October the 15th, 11:30 to 1:30, and 1 p.m. is the photo ribbon cutting time. So if you're available, that's Monday the 15th, 11:30 to 1:30.
Okay.
And next Thursday at 1:30, we have scheduled the inspection and test of the election equipment.
Okay.
So we're doing it this Monday also?
Thursday the
Thursday.
18th at
Okay.
1:30 p.m.
We'll do that following our meeting then.
Yes.
Okay, is that it? Megan, you have anything to report? Okay, well, we will start on our paperwork and to our 1 o'clock appointment.